Like the Minutemen at Concord and the Scouts who opened the American West, the rifle is a part of our history.
The hammer had a piece of flint clamped in it, and the spark to ignite the gunpowder was created when the flint struck an iron plate. To load, the soldier had to ram a powder and ball charge down into the barrel from the muzzle end of the musket. He had a ramrod which was carried in the gun stock for that purpose. Then, a priming charge of powder was poured into the pan alongside the chamber. When this primer was ignited by the flint spark, it entered a small touch hole and set off the main charge.
Ever since the rifle was introduced in the American colonies, it has played an important role as a hunting weapon and a weapon of war. The first native American rifle was the so-called Kentucky rifle, made by German gunsmiths in Lancaster, Pennsylvania in 1728. It was designed as a hunting weapon for the frontier, and when farmers and hunters answered the call to arms in the defense of their liberties in 1775, many a militiaman brought his own rifle. Here it is, the old Kentucky rifle. Muzzle loaded, with bullets wrapped in tallow-soaked patches to ensure a perfect barrel fit. Flintlock ignited, single shot. Both its effective range, which was over 300 yards, and its accuracy far exceeded that of Brown Bess, the standard smoothbore infantry weapon of the British Redcoats. The Kentucky rifle was the ideal guerrilla weapon of its day. Shoot and scoot.
Americans turned out to defend their homes at Concord Bridge. 180 years ago, the weapon of war was the rifle, and the colonists, though unorganized, knew how to handle a gun. These men were made of flint and steel. They had handled the long-barreled flintlocks since they were old enough to walk. They tore their own shirts to make the linen patches to ram their loads home. And they could knock a squirrel out of a tree without damaging the pelt. When the British officer cried, "Clear the way! Get along home, you rabble!" they stood as still as trees. Then the British cannon opened up. Bare chests against cannon. The colonists stood the fire for 6 long minutes. Then, because they didn't have proper training, they broke. The bridge crossed. The Yankees harried the British along the road to Lexington. They fired from behind stone walls, from the windows of houses. The British had never seen such marksmanship. Before the end of the day, nearly 300 of the King's soldiers had died, and the Continental Army was born. Many of these Minutemen stayed for 5 long years of fighting. British ships ruled the sea. British troops held every major port from Boston to Charleston. But the depths of our wilderness gave us time. Time to train huntsmen and plowboys into soldiers. And when at last these soldiers won the victory at Yorktown, the Continental Army numbered 9,000 men.
We won't have 9,000. We don't have 5 years. When this happens, they're going to come. First thing they're going to do is take your guns. They love taking your guns. They've already all but taken your Bible, wiped out any respect for it that there is. So stock up, get ready. It's coming. It's coming soon.